Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and this is the end of day two. So picking up where the last video left off at the end of the Castleburn Track. This section here is actually still called Scrubby Track. So Trails Track actually starts here. So this first couple of Ks is where most of the action is on Scrubby Track. After that, it's not too bad. The first couple of Ks are kind of go hard or go home, especially in the conditions we hit it in. So from there, we got up to the Trails Track and we continued on from there, followed Scrubby Track through to the Wanangata River here. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. This is a really long crossing here. The track actually doesn't go down around here the way it's shown. Hasn't gone that way for years. There is no way to get to Collins Hut coming down this way. To get through to Collins Hut, you need to follow where this blue line goes up here, and then you can come down this way into Collins Hut. We didn't go there this time. I went there a couple of years ago. It's a pretty vandalised hut. It's one of the most vandalised huts I've seen, so unless that's changed, and it was late in the day, so we then got onto the Crooked River Road and headed north a few Ks into the Black Snake camping area. So that is the section of track for today's video, guys. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's just say Scrubby Track is pretty insane. I think any time, and in the condition it was in the conditions we were driving it in, it was just nuts. Knowing what I know now, would I have chosen to go there with the tyres I had? No, I wouldn't have. But anyway, we all do these things. So let's get into it, guys. Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and we're starting the Scrubby Track, which is now officially the 4 o'clock track. And already it's starting off pretty wet. You can see here this approach, and I've come to this corner. Basically all I can see in front of me is water.
Look, there's no easy way to test the depth of this. I think I'm just going to have a crack, and if need be, Luca, if you can be ready to pull me out backwards if I have issues.
Roger, and I wanted the videotape, which has been working, but now the videotape's not working on phone. But anyway, I'll do my best. We'll have to move out of the way, Dan. Or potentially. I'm on a shitty hill anyway, so I'll come back a bit.
So keeping to the side here, just trying to stay out of the middle. No idea what I'm driving into.
No, it's fine.
Turns out it was just a big puddle. It wasn't really a bog hole at all, but you just don't know. Tricky little crossing here with a slippery exit.
Tricky little exit there.
Tree straight ahead as you come out of that exit there. It's a fairly tight little track, this one, and very wet, as you can see. Last time I drove this was 4 years ago, and it was nothing like this. So the hill starts here.
Alright, I'm going to just try and crawl it in a second, okay, Luca?
Yeah, roger. Momentum, unless it's rock ledges.
So this early section here is just sort of slippery and clay based. You can hear the tyres there reaching for traction. And it's a little bit off camber,
yeah, I'm going.
which was pretty unnerving with that massive drop to the left hand side.
There's a massive big rut on the left hand side as you go up.
as you can see.
Left hand
And
side.
I've tried to span it there.
Yeah, but there's a big rock there, got no
And you can
choice.
see I've got those left-hand wheels on the high side of the track.
Righto, am I right to
And
come
I've
up?
just run out of
I'm going to
traction.
need help
I've got
here,
a little bit
Luca. I'm going
crossed
to need
up.
the winch, and I'm a bit precarious.
Roger, yeah, you're right to come up.
And that is that. So yeah, Luca jumped out and came and set the winch for me in the rain. Trooper that he is. And you can see there I've just fallen down into those ruts, which are pretty decent size. Bit of tension back on the winch rope. And we're getting a little bit of traction as we're trying to winch, and then losing traction, and then the winch rope's tightening up and pulling us forward again. Clearance is probably my biggest issue here, I suspect. Running 33s with no lift. But the winch is doing its job and getting us up the hill. Lucas just called a stop there. He's just wanting to check how the winch rope is actually spooling onto the drum, making sure it's not bunching too much at one end or the other, because that can jam your winch up. But no, it's all good. He's saying carry on. Good advice there. Let the winch do the work. Probably a little bit paranoid on that side of things, having flattened the battery in the pad once and almost flattened it twice through winching. Just a little bit of a reset there. We're very close, as you can see, to that winch point, the tree. Getting a bit of traction there. And that pretty much puts us level with the winch point. So Luca's going to have to unhook me there. And that's got the winch hook secured on the front. And he's not terribly optimistic.
Yep, we're just about to make a move, and Luca's going to reset if need be for me.
He's not terribly optimistic about how far I'm going to get. But again, momentum's the key, so once we're moving again here, we're moving pretty well. It does help being the first vehicle. You can hear the tyres doing their work there. So just made it onto that flat section, and now pushing onto that next section. You can see there's a decent sharp corner coming up here.
Pushing on, Luca. 10-9. Sorry? So yeah, I was going to videotape you, but I can't, so yeah, push on.
So a bit of a rocky off-camber step up around this corner.
Come up now, Dan.
Now last time I drove this track, sort of 4 years ago, that hill that I've just come up there, that was
section
kind
of the
of...
track is decidedly better. I don't want to jinx it, but it is.
Thank you.
That was the difficult part, and this part from here on I didn't remember being terribly difficult, and in dry conditions it probably wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, I see you there behind me, Luca.
But the conditions we've got
Lot better,
today
isn't
are
it?
far from dry. So a bit of a snapshot there from Lukey. You can see how wet the track is. A few wombat holes on some of those crests as well, and a lot of exposed rock.
So this next section's got some rock steps by the look. I'll push on, Luca.
You see practically a small river there running down the track, and all that exposed rock's pretty slippery when wet. Drama in the back there with Dan. Not very forgiving tracks when they're in these sort of conditions.
Jason, when you got a flat spot, just stop there and we'll crew up again.
Yeah, thinking the same thing, just up here.
So yeah, there's no way I was stopping on that hill, but
I'm pulling up. How's that,
flat
mate?
spot here.
You astonished me. You know, I'm throwing the rule books out.
What do you mean?
That doesn't look good.
No, it won't be that bad.
The eternal optimist in me telling them it won't be that bad. Can be a little overly optimistic at times, and 4 years is a long time for a track to change, so you know, you can't rely on what it was like when you last drove it when it's 4 years ago, and it was in very different conditions back then as well. So come around the corner and you can see that track climbing ahead of us.
More interesting, but I think still fine.
Still fine.
Okay, let's look at this. That looks off camber up top. What do you think, Jason? Looks good from here?
Yeah, look, I think there's a corner, so
Right.
I'm just going to crawl it in first.
So just trying to take it slow and steady. And on this first section at least, doing okay. Again, given how slippery the track is and how steep it is, I didn't want to be in a position where there was a lot of momentum and things could go horribly wrong.
Lovely, tell your mother.
So we've cleared that section.
Does it look worse from down there?
Yeah, there's a big V. I just spanned that on the left, and yeah, but it's fine.
So a little bit of a brief reprieve there on a fairly flat section, but again, we're back into it fairly quickly with a nice steep section here. This section of track though is in pretty good nick, as you can see. Steady throttle control, good traction, and making good progress here, lulling us into a little bit of a false sense of security, you might say. Sort of climbing up towards the clouds. Steeper section coming up again. We've got a river practically running down the track here. exposed rock there. And there was really no easy way to carry any momentum into that.
I'll try the right hand side.
Just unable to get traction.
It's not looking likely. How much room have I got to come back, Luca?
I'll go back further, okay.
So yeah, just trying to line up. And as you just saw on the screen, look, everybody else was able to drive this, running at least all-terrain tyres and either twin-locked or with decent traction
I think
control.
I'm just might be at the limit of these bloody, as you say, I'm pushing these tyres pretty hard. I think I'm at the limit of these tyres on this wet rock. It's got bloody gravel and silt and shit on top of it.
I'll give it a go, and then whenever you want, I'll come out and winch.
Yeah, look, I think we're best off just setting the winch now, mate.
Nice of me to volunteer Luca to go out in the rain once again, wasn't it? But really, you know, look, those first couple of goes, there was no indication that the vehicle was going to drive it. And in these conditions, I just didn't want to risk it. Now, a bit of a good example there of how not to winch. As I said earlier, I'm a little bit paranoid when it comes to maintaining battery voltage, so I try and keep a little bit of throttle, but you don't want to be bouncing on your winch like that. It doesn't do good things for your winch motor, or the winch, or the anchor point, or the rope, or any of it really. So it is a little bit of a balancing act of watching your voltage when you're winching, and trying to keep the throttle up to keep charge going in. So here's some footage of this winch that Dan shot from behind. Doesn't look like a lot, but there's just no traction on that stuff for me. You can see how wet everything is there. And at the moment, just letting the winch do its thing.
Winch in!
So yeah, just re-spooling and resetting the winch there. And yeah, I hadn't realised at this point in my hand it actually hit the spotty button, so the spotlights are on. They've got the covers on them, which is why they're not super bright. You can see how slippery that is though, especially with my tyres. Alrighty, over that first little winch and we're going to have a crack at...
I thought you said you wanted to try.
Oh, what I said was, I'm not sure I can drive from here. We might need to reset, but I'll try now.
No, I misunderstood. If you want me to winch, I'll just pull it out. It takes 5 minutes.
Let's try.
I was a bit sceptical as to how far I may or may not get. And that sort of tells the story right there. these camera angles aren't doing anything to confirm just how steep this was and just how slippery either. And you can see this next hump here is pretty torn up. There's a convenient tree there on the right that looks pretty well anchored. Nearly lost Luca. And yes, a dampener would be recommended in this situation. So just feeding the winch rope in to get some tension on it. Starting the next winch. So my Sherpa winch certainly got a workout on this trip, well and truly.
Yeah, I'm just conscious of battery voltage.
Okay.
So yeah, that, as I mentioned earlier, that constant battle between wanting to keep the throttle up a little bit to keep charge going into your battery to replace what the winch is sucking out versus not wanting to sort of bounce on the end of the winch rope like I just did there, where you're gaining and losing traction. So something I've got to get better at and just probably be a bit more patient with, and you know, do more of the start-stop where the winch does the work, and if the voltage is dropping I just stop and let the idle put some charge back in. Always get a little bit eager and think, hey, I think I can drive this, but it's just not going to happen. And that gives you a little bit of perspective on just how steep this is. You can see the track disappearing down below us there. Just about level with the winch point there, so it is kind of time to reset. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to drive up over this, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, I don't reckon I'll drive this. I reckon I'll need to winch over this hump.
Pretty rough, ordinary sort of terrain here, that's for sure. So just got the sleeve there on the winch rope, trying to protect it a little bit, running over that dirt, that gravel there. And you can see there the lack of traction control or diff locks, one wheel on each side spinning and going nowhere. You can see as on the front there one wheel gains traction, the other one loses it, and no real drive force going to the wheels is the issue with the open diffs and lack of traction control. Hence you need the winch to do the work.
You're almost there. Switch your headlights off.
So again, just a little bit of re-spool there on the winch. Now we're going to try and drive with the looper winch. That gives you a good example of just how precarious the traction situation on this hill was. Look, if I'd had a bit more juice and maybe a bit more momentum, I might have gotten up there, but you know, once we lost traction, that was it. We were going nowhere. So reset, another winch. What's this, winch number 4?
I didn't want to go that way, but okay.
So yeah, a little bit of a case of the terrain pushing you where you're going.
Keep coming.
Just about getting up over this one. See those 2 passenger side wheels? No traction, so to speak. And again, just a little bit of a quick re-spool and reset on the winch rope. So we're up.
Right, in!
So there you go, that's one of 4 vehicles up the hill. Just stopped a bit early there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For you.
Thank you.
Alright, the top of the hill is just up here. I'm going to go up and park up.
Yep.
Hopefully you guys have less trouble than I did.
Yeah, I think traction control will
Yeah,
make something happen.
I think I found the limits of my tyres.
Yeah. I think that's the point where you go, I've driven everything I can without buying new ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Good on you, mate.
So yeah, that's it's only a few kilometres, but it's all uphill on that section of Scrubby Track. And yeah, just reached the intersection here with Trails Track on the right hand side. Nice easy spot for me to pull up and then go back and catch the rest of the guys coming up. So here's Luca and his GU twin locked with his Nitto Trail Grappler mud terrains, giving it the right boot. And yeah, driven up there in the fraction of the time it took me to winch most of it. And now Paul coming up next in his FJ Cruiser, which is also twin locked. Very capable rig. ruts and
Top job, mate.
Sorry?
Top job.
Sensational.
Yep. I think I found the limit of my tyres.
You have. You have.
So now Dan in his 90 Series Prado, the Iron Emu, no lockers, but he does have traction control and he's running all-terrain rather than mud-terrain tyres. So he's driven all that earlier section, a little bit crossed up there as you can see. So he's had a reset.
He's having a go.
He was absolutely having a go. He was determined to try and drive it if he could, but maybe not to be. There you go. So yeah, I couldn't actually see what I was filming, so I missed this section where he actually drove that bottom section.
He's doing it.
Nice view of the roof. But yeah, the traction control is cutting in and out, stopping and starting wheels, and he's onto this final climb. And he's lost his momentum coming up over that little
You
step.
don't want to go back, mate. See if you can punch it forward. Or you're going back
Very
now.
slippery.
You probably roll back and try with momentum again. Yeah, you're good. Probably a smidge more. Yeah, I think you need
So,
to roll
yeah.
back a bit more to. Yeah, try from there. Just punch it to pop your front wheels up. So
Yeah, very
damn
close. Just not quite enough momentum to actually get those rear wheels to pop up over.
Yeah, you need momentum to get your driver's side front tyre up over that hump.
There's a tree root here, it's all slippery. Can you go over more to the left? Go back a bit and punch it. If you can try and avoid that root.
Yeah, that's where his rear tyre was getting hooked up on.
The rock's good.
Trying a little bit of track building to see if that'll help him pop up there. You can see Luke nearly slipping over there. And even there you saw Dan's car slide back a little bit as he released the brake and ready to punch it again. Spat out one of the rocks.
That back wheel again, the back driver's wheel isn't just it. He just.
Can you get over to the left? Right. You can try from there, but I don't think you'll climb that rock. Now, just give it a go. Straighten your wheels this way. Right. Driver. Meet now back. You need to bump it.
So yeah, he was keen to try and see if the Max Tracks would just give him enough of an edge. But you can see there his front tyre didn't actually get up over that tree root hump that it was getting over before, because obviously the more you try and do this
You
sort
right,
of thing,
Luca?
the more you take the surface off the track,
I don't know if I'd hang
the
on to that.
slipperier it kind of gets. And yeah, he's just spat the backstruck out.
It was working till it spit it.
You're not got enough speed. First low and flat the floor.
Again, another good solid go there.
It gets flung out anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
No.
Just try and wedge one in front of that front tyre to see if that'll climb him up and over that hump. One in front of the back tyre for a bit of grip. Yeah, you can see how slippery that's getting. He's accelerating and going
As
backwards.
he's knocking the top off it, it's getting harder and harder to get traction.
Yeah, it's getting wet.
Yeah.
He's going to need a little bit of momentum if he's going to have a chance of getting over that. So going back just to line up and come back with another. So close.
So close.
Bring the hair around it. You right? Oh, it doesn't need it.
So yeah, we spooled out Dan's winch using the free spool, and we're going to just winch him up. He only needed a short winch, and we went to engage the winch.
You seem to be.
Went to engage the winch motor. No power.
You can try it.
No power getting to the winch.
There's a reason I never installed one of those isolating switches on my winch.
I had one and they just failed
Yeah.
after a couple of uses there.
So yeah, Dan's
I know a
got
lot
one
of people
those
recommend them, but I've seen so many instances of this where you can't get the bloody winch to engage because the isolation switch is cutting the power to it.
So yeah, as you just heard, Dan's got an isolation switch that if it's in the off position, no power goes to the winch. They're sort of recommended as a bit of a safety thing, I think. I've never had them installed on my winches, and this is exactly why. On our October trip, Paul had trouble with his isolation switch getting his winch to work, and here we are now in January, and Dan's got an issue, and yeah, not something we can resolve on the track here. So we've got other vehicles, so we've got other options. Made the call to just wrap Dan's winch rope around his front bull bar, and we'll bring one of the other vehicles down and use that to get him up and over this obstacle. But yeah, frustrating. I mean, he's got all the tools there for self-recovery. He's got the max tracks, he's got the winch, but just not playing ball today. So yeah, Paul's brought the FJ down. Quick snatch, and it's done. So yeah, Dan's max track's back on his roof, and everybody's good to go. Looks like Luca brought his car down as well just in case there was a need. And yeah, that's 2 kilometres of Scrubby Creek Track done. That's all, 2 kilometres. As you can see, the sky's cleared, weather's cleared a little bit by the time we're ready to move on from here after getting all 4 vehicles up. And from here on, Scrubby Creek Track is a lot easier. And a lot of it is pretty much a big descent, as you're sort of seeing there. The track's in good condition, but you still don't want to take it too fast.
Sections like that make me want to get a rear locker, I think. Just for those moments where I really need it just to have.
Definitely.
And it all depends on how often you want to go out and or whether or not you want us to be happy to double back, and just go around it or what have you. But that's one of the first things I do on any vehicle. Well, I've only had 2 4-wheel drives that I've had for a long time, but yeah, lockers and tyres and suspension go on first.
This view as you come around that corner, guys.
Yeah.
Pretty epic. Looking down there at the Wanangata River and the Crooked River Road, and we're heading down there and we'll be crossing that river when we get down there. Not nearly as torn up this side of the track as the other side. Is still a pretty steep descent though. Loving that engine braking in the 76, that's for sure.
And that's probably a factor as well, because I can't remember what it was on the pads, but the alternator on the pads wouldn't have put anywhere near that kind of juice back in either.
And since this was filmed, I have put a brushless alternator into the 76 that puts out about 200 amps.
Pulling up, Luke, gotta change my GoPro battery. It's too good not to film this. Change your batteries.
Nice steep descent here, as you can see. Slow and steady definitely wins the race.
Yeah, this bottom section's a bit lumpier than it was higher up.
Yeah, nothing nearly as difficult as the other side. This is definitely the easy side of Scrubby Creek Track, that's for sure. It's roughly 4 or 5 k's, I think, from Trails Track down to the river. Making a lot better time than we did on those first couple of kilometres though. And again, some great footage here from on board with Luca.
Yeah, this is a long crossing, but I wonder how deep it will be.
Coming down.
Scrubby Creek Track.
Hopefully it's similar to the one this morning.
Paul's the most recent one of us to have driven this crossing down the bottom here. I did it 4 years ago. For some reason, didn't remember
What a
it as a
sensational day.
particularly long crossing.
Billy Goat Bluff in the wet. Scrubby Creek Track. Winching.
sensational day. Luca's not wrong there, that's for sure. So yeah, made our way down to the bottom. Very soft and sandy, silty at the bottom, but hadn't had a chance to get too soft for us, unfortunately. And just coming up on the river crossing now, and as I said, I didn't remember it being particularly long. It must have been, but it was 4 years ago that I drove it. Had the whole family in the car at the time, so they probably weren't keen on it, but also probably didn't want to turn around. A few puddles as we're getting closer.
Just on the right here too.
So, yeah, nice green campsite in there, just a little bit wet.
Not a bad spot. It's a bit damp. There's nothing down there. Black Snake Creek's just up the road, on the main road, basically.
Yep.
So yeah,
It looks like she's flowing.
A little bit of a glimpse of the river through there, and couldn't see the depth, but it definitely looked like it was flowing.
It goes quite a distance.
So just pulling up here on this corner to get out and walk down and have a look at the river crossing.
Access to the crossing at Collins Hut, Scrubby Track. As you can see, there's been a bit of water flowing down this track, creating some erosion channels. Look at that erosion. Just unreal, isn't it?
I think it's been recently deposited there and
Yeah. Not compacted.
probably the best way to do it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there's the exit way over there.
Yeah, right down there.
And where's the line straight across?
That's where we drove it last time. We were coming in this way.
Day of never-ending challenges, mate.
Jump off?
I'm so used to holding it together.
Yeah, so
You probably not so much.
no.
Alright.
Alright,
So is that the exit?
yeah, over there, mate.
Alright.
So try walking largely straight line between here and there.
It's your birthday, Dan.
Happy
And
birthday.
you've got
So
this
yeah,
job.
birthday boy Dan.
It was a bit sunnier at the start of the day.
Then it was.
Yeah, well, already that first bit's less deep than I was expecting.
Oh, I didn't see him. Is it not deep?
This first bit here, knee deep.
Oh, good. I wasn't watching.
I see that.
So the rest of it's fine.
So yeah, look, you really couldn't tell just looking at it, but it's barely knee deep.
Okay, so he's going to walk there.
Still
and
not.
he can walk back about 10 feet that way.
So yeah, a little bit deeper right over the far side there, just before the exit. That's about the deepest part.
Good job.
But
Yeah. Is it stony along here or is it sandy?
Stony. It's all stony. It's all stony.
It's all stone.
Good, good.
That was better than you.
You
That
happy
was
with
better
that?
than you, Luca.
No, it's not. But it'll do.
Alright, so first guinea pig up. Look, having watched Dan walk it, I really wasn't too concerned. You can see we've done our best to do a bit of track building there, filling that erosion gully a little bit.
Oh, here goes nothing.
What's that?
Here goes nothing.
Well, you're the guinea pig for the day. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you.
So yeah, barely up to the side steps on that first section there. That's the view. It is a long crossing. When you're in the car and you're just looking at a river, it does feel a little bit wrong. But yeah, you can see there, not actually that deep. A little bit deeper, just getting towards the very end here. A bit of a bow wave building up, but then you're up and out of it as well. And as you can see, that
Nearly
exit's
level
pretty
with the
good,
top of
probably
my
better than
bonnet
it
just
looked.
before the exit.
Up next is Paul in the FJ Cruiser. And again, nice steady throttle control, and he's making short work of it. I think he was a little further to the left, so he didn't quite hit that deep hole that I hit, I don't think. And Dan in the Iron Emu 90 Series Proto. Plenty of white water there. And yeah, making really good progress. A little bit deeper there towards the end. And
Alright,
he's
I'm
up
going to
and
just
out.
keep crawling down the
So,
track and see if I can
certainly
find us a
not one of those
campsite.
crossings you'd want to tackle when it's too deep. So we hadn't actually set our mind on where we're going to camp yet. We were going to have a look around Collins Hut. I wasn't sure whether this bottom track linked through to Collins Hut anymore or not. So
Yeah,
the
from
left
memory,
hand
when you come around this intersection, there's a hill on the left, you want to keep
Road.
right.
And I can't remember whether 4 years ago this track connected through to Collins Hut or not, but the point is it doesn't now. So back in the day this used to be the track, but they've cut that new track in. There was another, I think, river crossing up here a little further that you had to do to get around to the hut, and they've obviously decided that that was not necessary or warranted,
You go wide purposely.
and they've cut
We're
that
going to
track in
just have a play with
instead.
where you thought the current was versus what it actually was. No, I went wide because I thought that was sort of shallower, but still the same.
This actually doesn't seem to go through. We're going to have to go up that hill, Paul.
No, just the current. Felt like I had like my kids hanging on there, well, my legs, one on each. I'm trying to test out what it's like.
So yeah, we could have camped here, but it was a little bit tight for 4 vehicles, and
Howdy.
I was getting kind of Blair Witch vibes as well. So yeah, back to the T-junction up to the hill. I've met Luke coming the other way. And yeah, this track's in nice, good condition. A little bit rocky in the top section, pretty steep still, but very, very drivable even in current conditions.
Right back there, Mr. Liquor.
So there you have it, Scrubby Creek Track, 4 o'clock track. And yeah, just here is where it joins the main track again, so very hard right there. Basically a 180, that'll take you down to Collins Hut. We didn't head down there today. Collins Hut, last I saw it, was pretty vandalised, and it was late in the day today and we were looking for camp. So just pulled up here on the Crooked River Road, moved from low range into high range, and we decided to head north to the Black Snake Creek campground. Nice big campground right on the river.
No, I went straight ahead because I thought that was the link through to Collins Hut, but it just went to a little campsite that was small and very wet and was giving me Blair Witch vibes.
How's the clouds just poking out from behind the different peaks?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? And again, with this lovely dappled late afternoon sunlight, you wouldn't think it was the same day where it was belting rain down on us and lightning while we were going up Billy Goat.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it, guys. We're just about at the campground. I think my GoPro runs out just before we actually get there, so we'll pick up the campsite in the next video. As always, guys, thanks for watching, particularly if you watched all the way to the end. If you're not subscribed, please do think about subscribing. It really helps us out a lot, and I will catch you in the next video, of course. Always enjoy a drive along Crooked River Track. And it's a great end to a really cracking day out here. You can see the river down there, so we're just about there. And yeah, as I said, about a kilometre ahead on the left when we get to camp, but I didn't actually get to film that, guys. So yeah, thanks again. Like this video if you liked it. Leave some comments down below. Yes, we should use a winch dampener. Answered that one already. And I will see you guys in the next video. There's a still Lucas camp set up with his Darche awning.